What's up? Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. How's everybody doing? Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Edgeflow Collective. Good morning. Want to see a pullback? We'll see. What do you think about gold? I don't know. I don't trade gold. Good evening from India, Romania. Good afternoon. It's morning for me here, East Coast of the United States. Welcome in, welcome in. Let me know in the chat, audio, video, good. How's everybody's week going? Good. Sweet. So we'll get into the analysis here. Again, apologies. Last minute switcheroo. I'm covering again. You know, everybody's getting sick nowadays, right? So it's going around right now. But my name's Matt. If you guys don't know, I normally stream on Fridays here on Chart Fanatics. Covering this one today, I trade ES futures. I primarily use concepts around supply and demand, market auction theory, and order flow. So we'll learn a bit about that today. I like to do my live streams in a way that's more educational focused, teaching. So feel free to ask questions throughout the stream. I love when people are interacting and learning. That's what motivates me to do this. So we'll go through and share my game plan. If you guys aren't aware, Chart Fanatics has a great Discord. I have a channel in there where I shared my pre-market game plan this morning. Here, I'll copy the message and send it in the main chat in case you guys missed that. So if I talk through anything and write up, draw up screenshots and stuff like that, then I'll drop that in the Chart Fanatics Discord so you guys can follow along there and review if you want. Romania, a lot of people in there. Yeah, very important to stay patient. We kind of had an extended drop overnight into an area that has been acting as demand. So it's interesting. We've kind of continued to pull back here, and the cumulative volume so far is still green, at least since I've opened this. Yes, I know. Gene asked, can I please make a video of how I set up my bookmap? I've been asked that so many dang times, and I have been so bad. I still have not made that video. I will make it for you guys. I've just been so busy. And I focused on my own trading really first. You know, I'm a full-time trader, and that is my priority. And then the content creation and stuff that I do is just kind of a side thing to help people. So just I have not made that, but that's not an excuse. I know people want that and need that, so that's on me. I'll make it soon. This is Bookmap, by the way. If you guys aren't familiar with what we're talking about, this is my preferred order flow analysis tool. It's what I'm sharing on stream. Let me go to it here. Here. So this is what he's talking about. But first, before I start getting into that, huge thanks to the sponsors of the Chart Fanatics and Chart Fanatics live channel, Prop Firm Trader being one. You can check out the discount codes here throughout the stream if you guys would like to take advantage of those to get discounts, pretty much the best discounts available. TradeZella as well. I'm a TradeZella user. So a lot of work goes into this channel. These sponsors help make that possible for you guys, especially to get free trading with professionals throughout the week. So check that out. Discount codes there. You'll see this in the box throughout the stream. So if you miss it here, it's okay. There'll be these discount codes throughout. We will have some giveaways as well. Let me just confirm that really quick. What giveaways do we have? Anthony, let me know what giveaways we have today. Yeah, man, the flu is getting crazy. I narrowly missed it. My wife and 3-year-old had the stomach flu last week, and I missed it, thankfully. Apex code CF if you guys want to take 80% off. Also, speaking of, we will have Apex, Funded Next, and Alpha Capital accounts to give away during the stream today. So make sure you stay tuned for that. You don't write anything right now. We will do a different keyword. I'll let you guys know the keyword later in the stream. You'll only enter it one time for the giveaways. So again, we'll do that. We'll do that later. But we will go into the analysis here. Ice latte check. So we'll go into the analysis for the day, things that I'm watching out for. Again, if you want to read ahead in the Chart Fanatics Discord, I did go ahead and share my game plan there so you guys can check that out. Is Bookmap free? It's not free. If you're interested in that tool, you can just send me a DM on Instagram and I'll help you. But you know, it's not a free tool. There's not many very good free tools that are totally free. There are some discounted ways to use it, but again, not free. All right, so we'll go into the analysis for the day. Let me just pull up a Discord here. So this is the Chart Fanatics Discord over here, guys. Oh, I'm already in it. So if we go down to the Matt Owen channel here, this is where I shared my game plan and a screenshot of some things that I'm working, that I'm looking for on a 30-minute chart with the volume profile, some scenarios that I'm watching out for. I'll start diving through it here so we can all talk about it. So I like to start out on just some of the higher time frames here, guys. And I'll show you what I'm looking at on the daily chart. Again, this is ES futures, S&P 500. I trade ES futures and SPY options, primarily ES futures. And I will dabble in NQ a bit. What's up, Go Harali? Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Gunya. Tariff ruling supposedly today. Yeah, what time is that at, guys? We already had some news at 8:30. PPI, CPI was the bigger one yesterday. The only thing news-wise, planned news that I'm tracking, where is my news? We have existing home sales coming out at 10 a.m. That can spark a little bit of volatility. And then Beige Book release at 2 p.m. Kind of medium impact. It's something to watch out for. What else? Those are the big ones. Let me know in the chat. Are you guys tracking anything about tariff news coming out? It's 10 a.m. Eastern. Is that true? Is there? Let me get on. Trust but verify, right? So Supreme Court could issue. We'll see. We'll be cautiously observing what happens then. We'll be cautiously observing what happens then. Let me know in the chat, and we'll go through it. All right, but let's dive into the analysis here and talk through it. Trust me, bro. All right, so market was at all-time highs just a couple days ago, at least ES, right? This is just a daily chart on ES futures. We had been popping the highs and rejecting like multiple days in a row, like 1, 2, 3, 4 times. This one looked pretty aggressive on the news yesterday when we popped initially in the morning into all-time highs, but immediately rejected. We popped over that trend line yet again, rejected under it. There was some nice order flow things going on there, but we had a nice rejection there yesterday. And then we pretty much traded lower all day yesterday. Pops were sold into all day. Now we're kind of dropping into this area that I'm cautiously observing. That could be a demand area, so we need to watch out for this. We can just like, look at this, below this line, every time we've dipped under there on, just looking totally zoomed out here on the daily chart. 1, 2, 3 times now. We bounced out of there pretty aggressively. There's specific reasons why I'm watching this area where I have this blue box highlighted. Mainly there's a lot of volume transacted there. So that's why I'm specifically watching that blue box area. That's around 69.50 to 69.65. This is, oh yeah, I already said this is daily chart. So I'm watching this area here. It's tough for me to continue to short in this area right now. So we'll see what develops here this morning. I have those scenarios that I posted in the game plan. So we'll keep going through it. Somebody asked what book should they get. Tape reading and order flow is something that has to be learned live with experience. There are things that you can learn conceptually and just about it. And my favorite is Studies in Tape Reading. It's like a 100-something-year-old book from the early 1910s or 20s when I was reading, by Richard Wyckoff. Studies in Tape Reading. So there's a lot that I take from that, and a lot of things that conceptually, the concepts still apply. Market auction is a market auction. And analyzing the order flow, we are analyzing the real-time market auction as it develops. So I love that book. That's kind of the OG of tape reading and order flow education. Still relevant 100 years later. So anyway, continuing with the game plan, like these are the key areas that I'm watching as far as just zoomed out. Pretty much above 7,000 has continued to act as resistance here, right? I have that little blue box highlighted to the upside. I'm very cautious about shorting up there though, just because it's near all-time highs, and we're, if we continue to make these higher lows and continue to push new highs, trying to catch a top on that is not ideal. I'm just observing it for context. It could be a target, it could be whatever. So, all right, so that's the daily chart. Let me drop that in the Chart Fanatics chat in case you guys want. All right, so dropping down now to the 4-hour. So same zones here. Again, this is not really, these zones I marked were more based on volume, not specifically candle chart. It just coincides with some lows here on the candle chart. And you can see the last 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 times that we've tested this zone, buyers have been very aggressive and we've rallied all the way back up to these highs. Okay. So that's why I say it's tough for me, despite seeing kind of the weakness that we saw yesterday, it's a little tough to look to initiate shorts when we're dropping into this area. We tested it once already in the pre-market here. Again, this is a 4-hour chart just for context here. It's tough to look for me to continue to chase shorts here unless I see continued really strong confirmations, like maybe we break and retest under here type of thing. First, gotta honestly look to see if bulls defend this and at least target a pop back towards the middle, back towards 80, 90, 7,000-ish, right? At least in here is what I'd be watching for first this morning. And there's a couple different ways that I'm watching that, and I'll get into that for specific setups. Here's this in the chat. Again, I'm sharing these screenshots if you do want to review on the Chart Fanatics Discord under the Matt Owen channel. Do I trade gold? No. Do I trade XAUSD? No, I can't even pronounce. I can't even pronounce whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called. What is that called, guys? Forex. I don't trade Forex at all. Never have. I trade options and futures, specifically and primarily the S&P 500 and I do trade SPX and SPY. S&P 500, SPY, SPX, ES. It's all the same. S&P 500 and NASDAQ as well, QQQ. Am I a swing trader? I primarily day trade intraday, but I do have swing trade setups that I trade as well. So both. I trade what the opportunity is, right? There was a really good reel that was just posted by the Words of Wisdom channel. I think taken from one of the Chart Fanatic, or maybe it was on Chart Fanatics, that he was talking about, you know, like a lot of times you're just kind of chopping wood, you're kind of making ends meet, you know, scalping, intraday trades. But there's those handful every month that are real bangers that really like make the month. And it's important to be in there, you know, following your system, following your rules, looking for trades day in and day out. So you're there, you're ready, and you're positioned well to capitalize when those few really good opportunities, you know, happen a month. Sometimes when I see those set up is when I swing big as a swing trade, larger size, etc. Yeah, if you guys enjoy the content here and you appreciate, you know, the time and effort and everything that all the traders put into this channel, helps us out a ton if you just like, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more content like this, more live trading, coaching that people go through here, sharing information, sharing setups, sharing analysis, live, no hindsight, helps us out a ton if you guys just smash the like button. It's free to do. All right. Did I share this already? Yeah, I did. That screenshot. All right. So now look a little bit more narrowly here at my 30-minute chart with volume profiles. And this is where start to see a little bit more detailed about some stuff that I'm watching. First of all, this area where we made this low with all this volume built up, see just on the candle chart how much we consolidated in there, and then we rallied aggressively out of there, had this kind of large wick out, and then recaptured it again. That to me is this area of interest, right? Buyers were very, you know, we agreed on price and consolidated there for a while. We based there for a little while. Not, you know, I got to be careful if we start breaking down under these lows, but ideally I'd want to, now that we already spent so much time consolidating in here and then rallied out of it, I'd really prefer to see that hold above. We just tested it once in the pre-market again this morning, but you can see this is where I was talking about. You know, we rallied one time out of there, we came back and tested it 2 times out of there, tested 3 times out of there. Now, eventually this area may just get saturated and buyers may run out of gas here and we may break it down, right? But I don't want to be too early to doing that, you know, shorting right into it until the market tells me that is happening. Right? I don't want to try to predict what is happening. I want to analyze what's happening in real time and, you know, see good confluences, confirmations, and see what is actually happening and go with that for the setup, right? But I don't want to just drop into here one way or the other without confirmations, you know, and just think, you know, we're trading down, you know, let me chase it short here. Well, that might work on occasion, right? Very few days just trade straight down. Sometimes that happens. And sometimes people will take bad trades and make money on when that happens. But over the long run, I guarantee if you keep trading like that, you will lose money. So we need to observe what happens in real time and see what the confluences are, see what the confirmations are, see what happens to take our, you know, our best setup that we can and manage the risk to see what happens here if we continue to pull back. To be honest, ideally, just given the number of times this area has already been tested, I would rather see bulls, hold these lows and not continue to chop in here. If we continue to see weakness in here, I'm less likely to touch it for a bottom reversal. I'll probably just sit back and wait and see what happens. All right. We're already kind of building this volume here in the pre-market above there, and we already kind of dipped down here once. I will still watch it, right? If we come down here, I will still watch it, but I would like to see, bulls show some energy and strength now above there. And if I'm looking to take that long, so either a bottom reversal long, possibly if we drop down here, or if there's a lot of strength and momentum, look for that, confirmations on the tape that I like to look for to take it long, and probably, especially if we recapture this area. Look at this low volume node area here, AKA some people with price action call this a fair value gap right there. You see how the volume is low when we sold off really aggressively through there. So one, that is a key area again for my game plan to watch. If buyers run out of gas and fail there, I'm possibly interested in taking that short as well and just targeting a drop back into this demand area. However, if we come up here and buyers continue to be very strong, especially if we recapture above these like 80s to 85s, that will be very interesting for me to see if I can find an opportunity to go long, possibly just target these prior highs into the 90s and 7,000s. All of that is written up on my game plan that I shared in the trading scenarios. So 9:22 here, we got a few minutes. Let me know in the chat here if you guys got questions. Sorry, looking through this analysis. All right. What are your views on ICT? I don't have enough experience to speak out on it. I know there are very good ICT traders. I've watched some of the stuff, but I'm an order flow trader, and I can view the market very accurately. Just looking at the real market auction, the whole yes, there are algorithms that trade the market, right? High frequency algorithms, institutions use algorithms. I don't think there is a overarching thing that controls price regardless of the orders that come into the market, if that makes sense. Do you use value area low, value area high from the previous day? Yeah, it especially when it aligns with confluences. I don't have a specific strategy that's oh, I wait for this type of thing to happen with this value area high, low, whatever. No, it's just kind of overall context that I add with kind of reading the tape. So for example here, obviously this value area low kind of aligns with this value area high from this day where I was watching this demand, where we built all this volume. So that's an important thing. And then here so far this morning, we're building a nice balance range here, like a bell curve. When I see the volume build like a bell curve like that, it's kind of indicating the market is very balanced. And you can see that value area low formed right there when we hit that low. But that was just because we hit this demand area where buyers have been aggressive a number of times. They continue to defend that. However, they haven't been continuing so strong that they're able to get over where these sellers were very aggressive, we formed that fair value gap / low volume node here on the volume profile, especially when that was on the break of these prior day lows here, this prior swing low here, so all that. So this is a near-term area of resistance, right? This is a near-term area of support, which is kind of why we're seeing what we're seeing, right? That's kind of the top of this demand area, right? It's acting as demand, and these sellers have been very aggressive in the near term and have dropped price lower overnight. And so here in the pre-market, we're just in between that support and resistance area. But it's nice to see this with volume, to see this with all this context, so we have a very clear idea of what's actually going on here, and we're not just like kind of blindly looking at a candle chart trying to guess what's going on here. Yeah, absolutely. Good questions. Good questions. Yeah, so the zero print also aligns with, so just going back to what Blair just asked, Blair asked, do you look at zero prints that form in the pre-market? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me at what time, I see something like that form. And it just aligns with this area where sellers were very aggressive here. So it's right in the middle of this area where we had this low volume node where sellers were very aggressive overnight. This was at around 5:15 a.m. after, right there, that candle, 30-minute. This is a 30-minute chart, right? So it's right in the middle of that area. See that? So that is a key area. The zero print forms just because participants are very aggressive, and so there's a lot of market orders hitting, selling the market fast, and so there's not, volume doesn't transact at every price on the tick because the market is moving so quickly with so many orders hitting. What pair is this? This is not a pair. This is ES futures. I don't trade Forex. I trade S&P 500. So this is the futures on the S&P 500. This is a tool called Bookmap that we're looking at right now. Yeah, unfortunately, Marco is under the weather. Good questions, guys. Good questions. So market's about to open here. Let's see what develops. See if there's an opportunity for a good trade. We're pretty balanced here around this point of control, around the 69.70s, where we have that kind of volume built up. So nice bit of selling here right off the get-go. Or sorry, I mean nice bit of buying here right off the get-go. Want to be cautious about getting chopped up in the middle of this range here between like 78 and 68. Be patient, let it develop. So just taking a look here at my footprint chart. There's some aggressive selling coming in now. Going back towards that area from those lows. Look at this. That pre-market low sits at 69.63.5. It's important to come into the market every day with the mental balance of not looking to force any kind of trades, right? We're just looking to see what develops. We're not trying to catch every move. We're trying to catch the moves that we have a plan for, that we have a trade set up for, that we have a repeatable risk management strategy for. We're not looking to just be involved with the market every time it makes a move. Starting to see some aggressive buying step in here a little bit. There was a bid that stepped in, but these aggressive sellers are kind of relentless here. So staying patient. So we just dipped under that pre-market low. We'll see if this traps some sellers down here in this demand area. This is some nice aggressive buying here coming in. I'm in this long at 66s. My stop is just under like 63. Wow, look at that buying that came in. I'm trailing break even here. I can always re-enter if it sweeps down. See if we can just target a nice break of these highs first. My stop was just here under these aggressive buyers that came in, but I'm going break even with this amount of aggressive buying that came in. I'd like to see us squeeze up over these highs. Nice bit of aggressive buying coming in here. I may go ahead and trim here half and hold this. Yeah, I'm trimming half here, and let's hold this. I just like the amount of aggressive buying that's coming in here, and we have that low volume node here just up here in the 80s, so I can just use that as a target. Oh, we're almost there. Some aggressive buying coming in here now. All right, I'm out. I'm looking at the volume profile here on Tradeovate. So I was looking for this for a target. This area here, see how the volume is super low here? We also have this VWAP level here. So I just took it off right here at that. Again, that was a scenario straight out of the game plan. Live trading account. No hindsight analysis at all, right? So what I saw here, sorry, let me do this so we can try to see both things going on here. Let's watch it for a second, guys. Do you guys want an in-depth recap on this trade? I know it happened fast, guys. You know, I'm a very fast trader reading the tape in order flow. I have extremely small risk. I'm in and out of trades. So don't be here to try to copy me. I'm here to try to share analysis for you guys to take your own trades and teach people how to fish for themselves, right? in anything with trading, especially with fast tape reading and order flow, it's going to be very difficult to copy someone else and realize the same risk versus reward. You could still make money, right? But you know, with how fast the tape moves, especially when there's volatility and things like that, and how fast I manage and execute trades, it's almost impossible, even just with the delay in streams, for anyone, not just me, for you to copy anyone and realize the same risk versus reward. Yeah, highly recommend learning to trade for yourself and not try to copy someone else. But yeah, let's detail it. So I made about a little over $1,000 there, and I was risking about like 250 bucks. So it's about a 4-hour trade in seconds. So what I saw here, are you guys cool if I, you know, because it's hard for me to share what the tape live as it's coming in, and recap this trade at the same time. So you guys want me to recap this trade now, or do you want me to wait till a few minutes later in the stream and continue to watch this live? You guys tell me. $14 points in 2 minutes, calling it a day there. Entry was a 65s. Amazing. Ray Marrero, amazing, dude. Killer. Yeah, I realized net about 11 points there, and I was risking about 2.5 points because I got filled at 66, and my stop was just around like 64.50. Can't even do math right now. How many points is that? I don't know. The risk versus reward was high, guys. I need to finish my iced latte. Math is hard. And I say that as a computer science major. I've done college calculus and everything. Oh man. Yeah. All right. We'll wait. Let's keep watching the tape here. See what else sets up. Guys, remember what I said. In the middle of this range, I'm not looking to touch it here between like 65, you know, or really between like 70 and 80 here in the middle. I was not looking to touch it. We dropped down to that spot where I was looking to touch it. I saw really aggressive buying came in, and I basically took it from, you know, the lows to the highs of this range that we're in. Look at that exit though. Look at that exit though. I left a couple ticks on the table. That is the power of reading the order flow, right? High risk versus reward, very, very precise entries and exits. I don't need to capture like the whole freaking moves that the market makes, right? I don't need to do that. I just need to repeat the same, you know, if you can consistently make, you know, 5 points, you know, risking a point or two, who cares, right? You don't need to catch the whole. I think so many people in trading obsess over like trying to catch the absolute lows, the absolute highs for catch like massive moves. That's not what you need to do. What you need to do is just be consistent about the types of trades that you take, the amount of risk that you take versus the amount of reward that you look to capitalize on. If you could just be consistent with that and generate a positive return, it doesn't matter the size of the move. All it is a game of moving the decimals, like once you consistently do that. But in this case, you know, was hardly risking like 2.5 points and made 11 points. And what was that? 9:33 to 34, like a minute and a half. Yeah, consistency is a superpower. Just be disciplined and consistent. That's it. So I would, you know, I like see how these bids are continuing to come in here. I do like this. Look at this, more aggressive buying. Look at the size of that buying coming in here off these bids defending. I would want to, if bulls are going to maintain strength and go break these highs, I'd really want to see it hold here. I wouldn't want to see us like dip under the lows again. I would want to see a higher low made If we dip under the lows again, it could just stay choppy up and down in this range. If buyers are really going to take the momentum here, they've got, so think about it as a game of tug of war, right? Buyers have the upper hand right now. Buyers have the upper hand right now in the short term, and they need to capitalize on that. And if they don't, then it could just stay choppy. Especially given the time frame, right? The first 30 minutes, there's a lot of momentum and volume, excitement in the market. If they lose this battle now and they have the upper hand, it's not ideal. So in the where, right? Let's look at this. So see how price got swept down right here? So a really aggressive sellers came right into that low, right into that kind of key demand area. Whoa. Hello. Some big boys hit the tape. Yeah, I'd be careful here. Let's see what happens. That was, wow. That was some size that just swept the whole tape there. Wow. That's typically something you see more around news. I don't know if some news just dropped. Have to check on X, on Twitter. I like to check the first squawk for kind of seeing what the news comes out. Let me see. I don't have it pulled up. I normally have it pulled up. You know, that could just be a pure like technical, you know, adjusting of positions, but typically you start seeing massive orders sweeping the tape like that when some news comes out or something. That was some decent size. We need to see the reaction though, right? Is that a big buyer passively taking all of these people that just jumped in aggressively to sell? The momentum is starting to shift to the downside though. I don't like seeing these sellers lose this tug of war. Think about it. Like I said earlier, we already dipped into that demand area multiple times. Buyers, in the game of tug of war, buyers already shifted momentum to their side, and now they've completely given it back. That's not ideal. This setup that I traded earlier was much better on the first try. Coming back again with this much is not ideal. I'm personally sitting back, staying cash here. That was interesting. That was interesting. So large aggressive selling, continuing to stay in control here. Tusher, thank you. Said one needs experience and daily observation to execute such trades flawlessly. What a clean trade. Congrats. Thanks, bro. I'm not anything special that anyone here cannot do, right? It's just time, experience, not trying to rush the process, trying to make money quick, right? It's just focus on learning, focus on educating yourself, right? And focus on gaining screen time and experience. I kind of have a slogan that I always say, win slow, suck less. Learn to just accept, you know, building momentum, winning slow, think about winning over the long term, right? Not trying to win. A lot of people blow themselves out of the water in trading because they're trying to win too fast. They're trying to win every day. They never want to take a loss. They're trying to, you know, turn $2,000 into $2 million, and they're trying to do it in 90 days, right? I'll be the first to tell you here that is not probable, and you will likely round trip all your money to zero trying to do that a million times before you make $1 million. And then in that case, it won't even be worth it if you do happen to go on a run and make $1 million, because you'll just be getting back to break even. So, and then the second part of that is focus on sucking less. Learn from your mistakes. Don't repeat them. Focus on getting 1% better each day and a big part of that is eliminating mistakes. this was a concept. I got the suck less thing, was from another one of my favorite books, The Mental Game of Trading. He actually, Jared Tendler, I think, did an interview on Chart Fanatics as well. Really good one. And I recommend that book as well, as far as the suck less aspect of that win slow, suck less thing that I always say. So in terms of your performance in trading, look at the mistakes that you're making and focus on, eliminating the worst mistakes first, right? If you can just eliminate your blow up days, eliminate the unnecessary losses that you take, naturally, it becomes so much easier to win. We're starting to see some pretty nice demand coming in here. Again, we dipped all the way to the lows of that demand. We're starting to see some aggressive buying coming in here. It's hard for me to continue to try to long these, as sellers continue to maintain control, but I like this aggressive selling into this bid here at the 54.75s, and then this aggressive buying recaptured, especially if we start recapturing the 60s now with some larger aggressive buying. That would be interesting. Hopefully that rant makes sense to you guys. I say all that just to encourage you guys to try to, focus on the right things in trading. And, you can get to the point of being very successful. I believe on a long enough time horizon, anyone can be very successful in trading, right? You can learn this. It's a skill and an intuition that you can gain. There's no reason you can't do it. The biggest problem is people, one, they don't have a long enough time horizon, right? So they blow up too much money too fast and they can't survive the game long enough to get good at it. And two, they just run out of time in general. They're not, focused on the right things to actually improve the skill, right? So that's why I always talk about those things, right? I'm not anything special. I'm not anything beyond what you guys all here can do. Yeah, I'm trading the S&P 500 futures. I like that. I haven't heard that. Somebody said, remember to exercise and keep fit and play video games to build your reaction time. I have played some video games. I'm not really much of a gamer though. This is Bookmap. If you guys are interested in this tool, I can send you information on how I use it if you message me on Instagram. If you guys have questions and stuff, I am very responsive. Look at by the way, pause. Look at the response out of there since we saw this, right? See that large bid that hit there. We can see that large aggressive selling. And then let me snip this really quick so I can talk about it. This may not last forever, right? This is just short term in the near moment, right? When I'm reading the tape, I'm just observing what's happening right now, right? I'm observing what's happening right now. And when I combine that with higher time frame levels, analysis, and everything, that can position me to be in very, very clean, sharp moves before the crowd sees it on a candle chart. But something that I always like to see gosh darn it. Something that I always like to see is anytime I see a bid fill with large absorption, especially like in an area that we know is a key demand area. And then regardless of the size, if I see fast, aggressive buying hit the tape that sweeps it higher quickly in a short amount of time, especially when we successfully start breaking over prior highs, that is a very key indicator to me, in the near term, that momentum is shifting in that tug of war game, right? You don't want to look at something like this in the middle of nowhere though, right? This is only key when it, you can, right? And it can tell you like a short-term shift in momentum, right? But you want to it's best and most powerful when you combine it with understanding the market context overall, understanding the location prices at overall, understanding where volume is built with supply and demand overall. Things like, that's why I go through first thing in the morning, I go through with higher time frame charts with you guys. I go through volume profiles to see like where participants are really involved at, right? And to the opposite end of that, where there's not a lot of volume transacted, right? Because that's telling as well. I enjoy the freedom of just trading on my own right now. So I don't know. I've never really tried the idea of trading at a firm. Somebody asked. Yeah, if you guys are interested, check out the promo codes to get the best deals if you guys are interested in leveraging capital with prop firms, Funded Next, Apex, Alpha Capital. We have promo codes here for all of them. Speaking of, we will run the giveaway in just a moment. Do you guys want to run through a quick recap on this trade that I just executed here this morning? We'll take a look at exactly what I saw and why I took the trade. Let me know in the chat. Put a yes in the chat if you want me to go through a trade review here live with you guys. Exactly what I saw, the exact confirmations that I used to take the trade. Smash the like button if you guys want me to go through an exact review of what I saw to execute this 4 or 5 hour trade. Yeah, we have some news coming out at 10 a.m. guys, so be mindful. Smash the like button if you guys want to go through an exact play-by-play of what I took, where, why, how, confirmations of this exact trade setup. Smash the like. All right, let's go through it, guys. So, again, context, right? This was best on the first play this morning, right? So 1, again, we had this area. This is a 4-hour chart. I'm going to quickly recap the context and then the exact confirmations, right? So we had this area from the 4-hour chart that had acted as demand multiple times. We've gotten much deeper into it now, right? This is a 4-hour chart, right? So this was aware of where to look for possibly aggressive buyers to step in. Again, I don't need it to last forever. I just took it for a quick 4 or 5 hour trade, right? There is no exclamation point anything in the chat, guys. There's nothing. All right, so that is the where, right? And again, you can go back and review this from my game plan, right? And on this drop this morning, I was watching for a point, especially at the top of that area between like 69.55 and 60, to see if aggressive buying stepped in to possibly take it long and target VWAP here, target a break of these prior highs up, at least this was like my nearest high probability target was for a scalp, was just kind of this opening where the market opened here around this VWAP level, around these prior highs, right? So just a quick scalp, easy money, didn't have to hold it for very long. Okay, so that was the location and the why, right? And now let's look at it on a 2-minute chart, right? So looking at my 2-minute chart here, this is when we dropped into that spot here, right? I didn't take it just as we dropped into here, right? I was waiting to see confirmation. So we dropped into here and I saw good confirmations on the tape. I took it from here to up here. Actually, no, I closed it on the break of these highs here, up near the 78s. Where did I, let me look. Yeah, I closed at 78.75 is where I closed the trade. So up here, right? So targeting break over these highs back into VWAP after seeing the trap shorts here, aggressive buying stepping in here. That was the setup for me. According to this context, we had this area of demand on the failed break under the overnight lows. A lot of aggressive buying stepped in. Quick, easy money target right into those highs. Boom. All right, so now let's take a look at the exact confirmations that I saw. So again, keep in mind that 60 to 55 area is where I was watching. I saw this large aggressive selling that swept down here at 933. Let me zoom this out a little bit. Okay, so see how these sellers really at this moment kind of swept the market down into here. So these sellers were aggressive, right? Aggressive size. And we see this passive buyer hit them right here, right? So that becomes an area of interest to me. Then I'm like, okay, now I'm watching this, right? But I'm not just immediately going long here, because like, who's to say we don't just like completely break down and fall through the floor? Wait for good confirmations, okay? Now, step 2, I see a ton of aggressive buying came in that recaptured over this guy, right? Where was my entry? 66.50. So my entry was right here. I liked this aggressive buying coming in, breaking the highs, and my stop loss was just under where this aggressive buying was coming in. In this type of scalp situation, seeing these trap sellers, this is what I call like a right now or right out. We trapped all these sellers that swept into this demand area. I don't need more than like a 2-point stop, because all this aggressive buying is coming in right now. I'm going with them. I have a very small protective stop here just in case I'm wrong, right? Because if we pop over this high and I'm wrong, right, and sellers reload and we drop right back, I'm taking it right back off. No need to hold a big loss, right? Very, very minimal risk. Sorry, this is getting a little messy. So do you see what I saw here? For one, we had these fast, aggressive selling, a passive buyer on them, more passive buyers stepping in here, and then we had really fast, aggressive buying that trapped them, especially once we broke these highs. We really trapped all those sellers at the lows, right? So that's an easy money, low risk scalp back into that target that I told you guys about. Now, I'll show you a different way of viewing it really quick, and I'll show you. Let me just do a screenshot of the actual trade here. The different way of viewing it is on my footprint chart here. So this is showing me the cumulative delta down at the bottom for each of these 5-point range. We can see how aggressive sellers were as we dropped into that area. Again, that key area being around 60 to 55 that I was talking about, right? Roughly the top of that demand area. And then after we hit that low, look at on the right side of my 5-point footprint bars, look at the aggressive sellers at the low and then the super aggressive buying that stepped in. And especially right here, it swept the market higher. Look how low the volume is there. So once I saw that, I was like, bam, I'm in. And my risk is just here. Like if these aggressive buyers have the juice, they're doing it right now, right? I was betting that these aggressive buyers had the juice. I have a very small protective stop right there, and we're going to take out these highs. Okay, I took off my first position right here, just protectively, like maybe we fail. So I took off half and I held for another like 4 points or so up into that, right? And what I saw up here, for me to take that set, I was basically going to hold this second position until I saw the tape slow down, right? I was holding this. I saw buying kind of dwindle off here. We also then right after had this larger aggressive selling came in. So that further confirmed that this was a good exit. Sound good, guys? Now, selling is coming in strong, right? 10 a.m. news just hit. And this is why I don't try to call the ultimate high, the ultimate low, right? I'm in and out. All right, we're gonna run the giveaways if you guys smash the like button right now for free. So here's the higher impact news coming out. Again, home sales, and then also some possible tariff news. I don't look to be involved. It's too unreliable for me to get a high probability. Let's see, what are we at? 109. Those are rookie numbers, guys. Let's pump the likes for the giveaways. Smash the like if you guys want to run the giveaways today. All right, let me know in the chat if you hit the like button. I just gave you guys an ATM machine. I just went through an exact playbook setup and gave you guys an ATM machine. Let me know in the chat if you guys smashed the like button. Let's do it. All right. MV413 said he did. Demeet did. Janae. Rehab. Lockdown. I see you guys. Thank you. All right, guys, let's do the giveaway. So in the chat, enter one time and one time only, or you will be disqualified. Exclamation point tape reader. Exclamation point tape reader. We'll let this run for 1 minute. You guys got to be fast if you want to be in it. We're going to wrap it up and run the giveaway. All right, Anthony, let's close it. If you're in here. All right, we are closing it now. All entries are in. All entries are in, my friends. Let me pull the names first. All entries are in, friends. So we're still flirting with these prior 4-hour lows, by the way. We did get through that demand area. So, you know, definite weakness in the market, but we are flirting with these prior, you know, wiki lows. In my opinion, you know, it's dangerous, you know, until we see really good confirmations from buyers. It's dangerous to try to catch an absolute bottom. It's also very dangerous to try to just chase the shorts to the downside, right? Make sure when you are entering a trade, you have a defined, repeatable plan that you can repeat day in and day out for trade setups, okay? Don't just chase the market because it's moving down and you want to make money. Don't just fight, you know, the momentum to the downside because you want to catch an ultimate bottom reversal. Both of those things are what losing traders do, okay? All right, end rant. Let's run the giveaway. Gogu Trades, congratulations, brother. Let me know if you're here in the chat. Gogu Trades, let me know, are you in the chat? There you go, man. Sweet. All right. So in order to claim this, go to the chart. Oops, sorry. That's not what I meant to share. Go to the Chart Fanatics Discord here and go to the giveaways channel. Go to the giveaways channel in the Chart Fanatics Discord and claim the, follow the instructions here to claim it. All right, let's run it again. We got 3 to give away. Michael M. Burrow, 4418. Let me know if you're in the chat. Yeah, I know I've seen Gogu trades here. So there's no coincidence he won that because he's in these streams with us frequently, right? You're a whole lot more likely to get, entered in these and win them when you participate in the group more often. Just pure probabilities, right? It's totally random, but obviously the more you participate in the live streams, the more often you're going to have an opportunity to get in here. Michael M. Burrow, 4418. Buru? Sorry, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. We'll give him a second here. Michael, are you here? 4418. Going once. Give him 1 minute. Trying to watch the tape here at the same time, guys. Sorry. There he is. Congrats, Michael. Again, head to the Chart Fanatics Discord. You were right on the edge there, brother. You were right about to get removed. All right. Congratulations. If you want to claim that, go to the Chart Fanatics Discord, as we said there, and go to the giveaways channel. Let's run it again. X3B, X3E. Congratulations. Let me know if you're in the chat. X3B, X3E. Yeah, we got you, Michael. Head to the Chart Fanatics Discord, to the giveaway section. A lot of aggressive buying coming in here. We'll see if it gets stuffed again and these sellers maintain control. But just looking at the size of that bubble up here, decent sized buying starting to step in. Yeah. See, when I zoom out here, we can start to see a better picture. Like, I could see that even in real time, like up close, but yeah, we can see the size of the buying up here. But it's coming right into these prior lows. We're kind of under that prior demand area now. So important to see if sellers defend under that prior demand area, under those prior lows, and really turn this into just a no bids type of day where we just trade lower all day, or not. There he is. X3B, X3E. Head to the Chart Fanatics Discord if you want to claim that free account. Congratulations to the winners. I think that's 3. Can I count? Yeah, I think that's 3. So congratulations, guys. So kind of going forward today,
what I would watch is if we now defend, if sellers now defend under, remember this zone from earlier? This is that zone from earlier here, around 55. It's kind of the lows of that. Really that whole area from like 60 to 55. If sellers defend under that, or if buyers successfully reclaim above that. That's what I'd be watching out for here. Wow, look at that. Holy cow. Look at that, guys. Wow. No coincidence. I said, what, 5 minutes ago over here that there was some aggressive buying coming in, and what happened now? I don't know if it'll hold forever, but I said like 5 minutes ago there was aggressive buying coming in now, and look at that. Now it's following through. We'll see if it holds under or if these buyers recapture above this zone now. If buyers recapture, that could turn into a pretty nasty short squeeze today. We took out 4-hour lows, some mega buying coming in now. That could turn into a mega short squeeze back up into 7,000 if buyers follow through with that and hold this recapture now. Yeah, this is golden trades. This is something that I look to swing here on a break of these 4-hour lows, potentially. It's a trap. It's a trap. Yeah. I think this area seems key to me. This 50 to 55 area, if buyers sustain above here. We actually had, it happened lightning fast, guys. But look at this. We actually had a break and retest over that. Look at where all this buying came in. Exactly what I was just saying. Where is this marked? Like right here around 52 to 55, that exact spot I told you guys to watch like 5 minutes before this happened. Look at that exact freaking spot. We actually did a break. It happened freaking lightning fast, guys, in seconds, just because that massive surge of volume came in. But it happened. Look at that. Break with all that volume, pull back into it, held. This exact zone, 52 to 56, is exactly where I marked it earlier. Look at this. 52. Right there, we had the nice break, retest, bam. Very clean. I did not catch that. That happened way too fast, and I was talking to you guys in the chat. But look at that. This, I think going forward today, like I was exactly saying before I was so rudely interrupted by this massive buying that came into the market, is kind of key going forward for me today, is watching this area. If bulls successfully defend above here now, and this turned into a massive, nasty bear trap under prior 4-hour lows, you know, we could take out highs going in towards the 69.90s to 7,000s. That's what I'd be watching. If they fail and bears recapture below this, then either one, we trend lower today, which seems unlikely now, or two, we have a pretty choppy inside day from here. But by golly, bulls have a lot of momentum going on their side right now, so I wouldn't step in front of that. All right, guys, I do have to wrap up the stream now. I have a doctor's appointment to head to. So thank you guys all for tuning in today. This was a fun one. Nice, easy, quick win this morning. Again, no FOMO. You catch your piece, you have a plan, you get out. Catch your piece, you have a plan, you get out. So if you guys appreciated this free live stream with lots of education, helps us out a ton if you like and subscribe on the Chart Fanatics live channel here on YouTube. If you guys want to connect with me, best way is on Instagram. I also have a YouTube channel. All of them are just at Matt Owen Trades. So if you would like to connect with me there, I will be back on Chart Fanatics live on Fridays. I'm typically live on Fridays on Chart Fanatics. Thank you guys all for tuning in. All right, I'll see you guys. Peace.